Thursday. So we're just sitting up here. We're just in chill mode. So we're gonna be in chill mode today. We're gonna do a start today. And we're gonna get into it. I think I was just going. I was going to talk about this yesterday, but I'm going to do it today because of the natural disaster that happened in Texas. So, just asking, do you think that they deserve more help with the flooding and everything that transpired? Uh, it's a simple yes or no. So, some people are going to be nonchalant because of what happened. I think with old Governor Abbott and so on and so forth. So, some people are not going to really even want to care about it. Some are, you know. But I thought I would ask the question. It's pretty disastrous what has occurred. So, mm, so just wanted to ask the question. If anybody's been impacted, if you got family, friends that are going through storms or anything, um, we can talk about it. So, anyway, welcome aboard today. Hope everybody's having a good day and hope the weather is good. And, you know, we're going to see what we're working with and we're going to go from there. Hope everybody's having a good day and we're going to be all right. What's up? Your timing is perfect. Glad to have you on board. What's up, man? Glad to have you coming back. Now I know somebody will carry me for an hour or so because you got lots of questions and we always have good. Thank you. Well, he had it coming to him. I mean, usually, so if I go in more than 4 or 5 minutes, that means I got a lot on my mind. And yeah, he was ridiculous. He is ridiculous. The bus rider thing that Charles and Shaq and them kept saying. And I'm like, shut up, man. And then he is doing the same thing LeBron does, except he's doing it in a broke way, but he's following the blueprint. And he's really followed the leader. And he gonna get his burner account, then he gonna get his Kanye on, start crying, and then he's gonna be like, "Oh, y'all don't know nothing about nothing, and y'all stupid and you're dumb." And what does he do? What does he do? He right doing. He can't talk about Jordan came back and won three straight. He did lose in the playoffs. He was arrogant enough to come back half season, but he still got won a playoff game against Orlando and was 2 rounds. I respect his rings. I just don't respect his takes. I can't take nothing from what he's accomplished. I can't take nothing from him as a player. I don't like his takes at all, though. His takes are a joke. That I don't respect. So I guess in part of him is a joke. He's a talent. I ain't taking it away from him. I'm not gonna take about the fact that he was impactful because the reason why I have to respect him is the loss against Toronto. Oh no, as great as Kawhi Leonard is, he is, and is tearing his behind up. And Shea comes with less fanfare, and Shea ain't seen in the same caliber as him. But then again, I'm gonna tell you something about O'Shea. Let Shea keep rolling up a few more 30-point seasons, and that team wins another chip. Then that's on your head. Then so, but I don't respect his opinions. That's the thing. His opinions suck. He tends to say some of the most just dumb stuff that don't make no sense. And you know, and I read between the lines of what he's trying to do. Oh yeah, he's very upset. They did it with less fanfare. And you can debate how good the team is, and they are, but you can't sit there and say that they had a Westbrook on the side, that they had a Durant on the side, that they had a James Harden off the bench, a Serge Ibaka. They got Serge Ibaka types, yeah. And I'm gonna tell him something, boy. Don't let Chad Holmgren come into his own. That's the one in the next couple of years, cause he just got a sniff of it. Chad Holmgren gets better, they gonna be a problem. Did I say that? Yeah. Yeah, he's upset. What's up? How you doing? Glad to have you. Thank you for coming on board. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, no doubt about it. And to say it that like I said before, don't let Holmgren got some seasoning because he was still green. Shoot, don't let him get going and start to have confidence because he gonna be next in a year or two. So I saw her. I like I said before, it has to tear his behind up. But oh well, not feeling sorry for that turkey because he keep going from pillar to post and he can't get. He should have kept his butt in Golden State. I tell him that to his face because I don't know if Udoka can cover his behind at this stage. I ain't getting his butt clapped every night by Anthony Edwards. Please, calling him an old man, clowning him. And what's that? What am I supposed to be impressed? Because the reason why I say that so sarcastically is he ain't gonna help nobody, and nobody wants none of them turkeys. I CP3's trying to get to LA to play with the Clippers. Russ, hmm, Detroit would be a good option. Hmm. But he's run out of real estate. He's run out of real estate, and I don't know anybody's gonna take a hustling cat sidekick. I never said about him in no Miami. 15 years ago. 15 years ago. What's up? How you doing? Well, first of all, they ain't gonna give him number three in Miami. And second of all, now you about 15 years past the pull date. No, he wants to go to the Clipper land because he wants to retire eventually. Yeah, I guess he keep playing for every team in the NBA. Good to see you, Charlene. Welcome aboard. I think that you know how I feel about CP3. Um, Dame is gonna catch on somewhere, but they all them turkeys are expendable. Nobody wants them turkeys. Injury prone, diva prone, pain in the behind prone. I want them turkeys. They actually was trying to Photoshop that turkey to Golden State. I'm talking about Dame. But CP3's run out of places to go hide. I mean, really? Man, you should I don't know what you need the one more year salary gonna do. Baseball. Baseball. Because NFL you got a better chance of having a run if you're the best at what you do. Baseball is tough. Baseball is tough as yo. Like I talk about it a whole lot. You know, it really is. It really is. It's because market teams, yeah, got a chance, but it's tough. So many things got to really go your way in baseball. Football, it still comes to the line and who's got the better team and the talent. It's matchups, but baseball, oh man, somebody can get hot and it can be. Is that a code word for a drug dealer? The dimes are coming to go because that's the only thing that's gonna fuel that turkey. Ain't no First time he get hurt and get dunked on, watch, he gonna go crying. No one takes him serious. He had a far, think about it. This is third team in the West in what, 4 years? That should tell you need to know. You know, I mean, he got traded for Nerf, and that's embarrassing. Nerfic was like a third tier center. That's what they. That's how far you fell off, Aiden. So no, and you up there playing in Portland, you can't even stat pad in Portland. That's how pitiful he is. Not quite. Not quite. He'd be lucky if he'd be as good as Andrew Bynum. Good luck though. I like the humor though. I will humor you though. Please keep on hitting the likes up, and thanks for the people that are on here. And yeah, we got some real comedians here. So you start talking about Aiden, that's hilarious. That's what DeAndre Jordan thought too when he came. Wasn't it DeAndre Jordan? It was Drummond. And how it turned out. Who are these people? Who are these people? Baseball has got some old, funny, old time. First of all, we already know who would be considered 100%. You consider an all time great, you're 100%. But the bottom line is, if you're Hall of Fame, you're Hall of Fame. If you're not, you're not. You know. But they like to act like they're on a curve. That's why I can't stand them, huh? Yeah, more like Philip Drummond. And the sad part, he's better than Aiton, but he plays like he's drunk or high. He just too inconsistent. He had an outside shot. He could rebound. He talked crazy trash too. Kareem Abdul Drummond. Remember when he was talking crazy? And they got rid of him. That didn't last. And he far better than Aiton. Aiton's best day ain't seeing Andre Drummond's good day. Okay? Okay. Yeah, I see it. So that should let the Laker fans know what you stuck with. Aiton's best day ain't seeing Andre Drummond's good day. But both of them leave a lot to be desired. Drummond got skills, but he just finds himself always doing too much of what I don't know. So anyway, no, I don't talk about baseball voting. I'm not a fan of it. If you're a Hall of Famer, you're a Hall of Famer. And if you suck, you suck. I don't have no, that's how I look at it. But don't be bringing in Scott Rowlands and turkeys that I know that are second tier, middle second tier cats, and you trying to tell me with a straight face he was too black, yo. I told you about that. I ain't got to give him nothing because if he had won the finals, they've been pushing him as a top five forever and a day. What happened them last four games? Why did Drew Holiday put the locks on him? Why Drew Holiday got another ring? Why CP3 then went to three different teams? Make it make sense. Because what happened after that finals? CP3 got his feelings exposed by the Mavericks the next year, sent his butt packing. And he ain't been the same since. Pillow to post, Golden State, San Antonio, and now you're on somewhere else. Race played a part with everything, Charlene. You answered your own question. Of course it did. He ain't lying. This whole thing about bringing him down was racial because Diddy, you know, I mean, you can't be telling them people about their liquor. Of course it was. He should get a stand ovation. She not, but she looks like she's got the exotic look. That's like Rihanna. If you look at Zydeco, they'll let you. They'll give you a. They'll warm you up. Sosa should. Yeah, I'm talking about Cass. I know what you're talking about. I know what she is. She's got the right kind of look that the industry likes. She got the no talent that they like. Well, we are mixed with some. I mean, like I always tell people all the time, if you're born and bred in America, times out of 10, you got a white cousin. Now, do they claim it is another story? The problem is that, yeah, but the thing is that it's not done to where it's cohesive though. What's up, Laura? Laura said free Diddy. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. When they gonna get him out? But yeah, Omar was right about that. She looked like, cause first of all, she had a tour guide set up for her to go tour. Why, where, I don't know. Her non-singing behind, I don't think she could even pack a Goodwill, a half off Red Tuesday tag day with free food. I don't know. Cause Texas is kind of backwards, and I'm going to see how this all plays out. They didn't feel it's called science and it's called the landscape. And Governor Abbott, we're gonna see what they about. Ain't about nothing on to the majority of them. Not gonna say to all of them, but to a lot of them, yes. To a lot of them, not all, but to the majority. And because I do signify, when I do signify, I find out. But a lot of them, yeah. And sadly, that's how we looked at amongst our own too, Ted. Sad to say, because you gotta be the color to look at before you get to the class, status, money, and age. Because the money, you ain't supposed to be black and have that kind of money. Diddy ain't supposed to be in that status. He ain't supposed to have no high tech lawyers. He ain't supposed to be able to, you know. Plus, that industry thinks and feels they made him. They think that you're ours. Oh, I agree with both. That's why I always do signify. I do signify. I'm combining everything you just said, though, Charlene, because that's how it worked. He wasn't in a position to protect his behind and have the assets and play the game. He don't get out. You gotta have something to get something. And when you playing on that level, it's high stakes poker. Of course she is. Ain't gonna give her no reparations. Cause it always is black and white, Charlene. They always looking. Well, yeah. Now if he was white, he would be doing another day at the office, and they still be doing freaky offs. That's the difference. If he looked like Hugh Hefner, we wouldn't even been hearing about this. We'd hear about it, but we wouldn't. It wouldn't be no thing. If he looked like Larry Flint, nobody would say a word. He looked like Donald Trump. Never mind. Look like Bill Clinton. Never mind. Did I say them names out loud? Never mind. Never mind. I'm not even gonna say allegedly because their business is out on Main Street. But you know where I'm going with this. Heck yeah. And see, Charlene, I'm gonna tell you something. That's what I don't like about the race Institute of Systematic Racism of America. Because a cat like Diddy, I gotta support because of their demonic and hateful ways. I don't even want to have to give him that kind of love, but I got to. I got to. I have to because he a black man. I don't want to, but I got to because they tried to sew him up on false pretenses. She's not no victim. No, she got victim. I'll say this: he is a troll, and stop quoting him, please, because he's a dumbo. He almost got me in trouble last year for what I said about Trump, and I don't even quote him no more. Because that turkey had the fake school with the fake money, and his daughter called him out, but that's not story in the video. Cassie was unfairly treated, yes. She should have gone to the press charges. He put hands on her. He harmed her. That should have been state. This here looks like some Hollywood script because whoever was hanging on to that video wanted to make sure that he couldn't get touched under the situation. That stuff is done on purpose. Okay. Now, but when you keep allowing yourself to be pimped and targeted and you're getting paid and you want the lifestyle, and there are other accessories, including Mary J. Blige, who was holding hands on pictures with both of them. People know what's up. People know what's up. Faith Evans knows what's up. Jennifer Lopez knows what's up. Umar be saying so much stuff. So I'll ask Umar this. Would you rather see a black man with a white woman or would you rather see him with another man? Because I'm like, yo, make up your mind of how you want to let this go. Because, when people be saying stuff, where do you go? It is racial. It is racial because she does look accessible. People do look at you. And if you're a woman that looks a certain way in Exotica, well, she looks young. She doesn't have a lot of body weight on her, and it does play a part. It do. He ain't lying about that. If you look exotical, it's like Rihanna. You look exotical, they take more on you because they do. ISO, I'm gonna go with Team Carmelo first, T Mac, and then AI. That's how I'm gonna go because Melo was better ISO. T Mac was second. It took him a while to get to that. Melo always had it. AI was just better with his handles because he created. I don't even consider it ISO because he could create with his handles better. But that's a different type of situation. That's a one on one. But Carmelo purely doing it was better because he could put wood on your behind too. T Mac got better with it. Iverson was a more prolific, but Iverson was a more full fledged player than him. But I gotta cut him out of that one because Carmelo had a shot, T Mac had a shot. AI he created the contact. His whole thing was off the dribbles though, so that's not kind of fair to put him in that because it's a different type of situation. Actually, all three of them are different in different ways because T Mac's athleticism to the hole was more effective. AI's dribble top key roll you was effective with the crossovers, and Melo had that set shot. So it's kind of not a fair question, if you will. I'm not trying to dish you, but that's not a fair one because they were all three different effectively in different ways. Only Melo really, really, truly fits the ISO. AI's thing was completely different. So now, if you ask me who was the more versatile out of those cats, I'm gonna tell you it was T Mac, but that came with time. AI was the more dynamic of the three, and Melo had that set shot. So appreciate everybody hitting the likes up. This is going good, and the poll questions are getting good. And yeah, Charlene, it was all it's race plays a part. Her image plays a part. You know, but see, the fact is that she's jive played a part too, and she got pimped out with Ryan. She went to Diddy knowingly. So whatever. All right, now let's keep it going. We got a good show today. 80% saying Texas deserves more. I like that. I think it's going warm now. Thank you. Okay, where everybody at? Come on now. Just don't believe people's. So, Charlene, we're not dealing with everyday people. We're talking about the music business. But if you would be hard pressed to believe that they don't. This was done imagery. No, he doesn't have association. If you can refrain from the word usage though, but yeah, he don't mess with them. He don't mess with nobody no more. Cause if they ain't making the bag for him, what use does he got for him? What's up? How you doing, Tom? Glad to have you here, man. Right on. Jay Z's all about what have you done for me lately, and he dips and daps on folks. But I thought everybody kind of knew that though about Jigga. I was real young, so like real young. Yes, I do. Um, I was real young when that fight happened. Vaguely, about four, but I caught more. I caught the highlights in full totality. I definitely understood. 50 Cent is just as trippy as Jay Z. He trolls a lot. He plays both sides. What's up? No, it was on TV. It was ABC, but it was a long time ago. Star Bench cut. Oh, yo, you think you got me on this one? I'm gonna start Ricky Henderson. I'm gonna bench Mike Schmidt. I'm gonna have to cut Derek Jeter. Schmidt, Ricky's gonna always get to play, and I'll take Ricky over Jeter for starting my team up. Schmidt was bad. Politics, yo. Jeter didn't really. He played a go along, get along, but it was politics though. A lot of politics involved. They did a lot of consensus for him. Well, compared to Mike Schmidt and Ricky Henderson, I mean, Ricky was one of the greatest leadoff hitters ever, stolen bases, etc. So could Jeter touch that? And Mike Schmidt was a big time player for the Phillies as a third baseman. Might be considered greatest third baseman ever. Could he touch that? Jeter was great, but the thing is, I think what you're getting on about with Jeter is this: was he the best shortstop of his era, or did he play in the right situation when he came up with big plays? He was 3,000 hits and he was big time, but it all is levels to this. Schmidt was my dog, man. Was bad, and Ricky was bad. So I gotta go with what the eyes tell me. And I look, it's tough, but I gotta go. And the real one is gonna be out of Ricky and Jeter anyway. You do know that, right? That's the one, cause Schmidt's gonna stay. So who am I gonna really flip out of Jeter and Ricky? There's always one in there that's gonna stay. So it's the battle of the other two, which if you know me and you read between the lines, that's the one. Nothing really, not as a player. He got the results. I don't really have anything knock against him. I mean, he was great. It's just that against certain type of people. I think he came up big. He was mild mannered. You know, I mean, he was consistent, and he actually fit. He fit Joe Torre's style perfectly. I can't really. I think he probably paid maybe a year too long. I'll say that. But I got nothing bad to say about him. You know. But depend on who you ask me. And then there's always gonna be one person that I'm always gonna, you know, say they gonna have to stay. But Mike Schmidt was the truth. And Ricky Henderson, that dude was a standard. No one started off a game like him. No one frustrated you like him. The man was a winner wherever he went. So, and I don't go by rings. Jeter's got more rings than Schmidt, but Schmidt, that was productive in Philly. I'm just saying. So. Bochy first, Torrey, and Cito got to go. Because Torrey was bad. He was good in Atlanta. And he did all right with the Dodgers. Bochy, wherever he goes, he just does the thing. I like Cito, but those guys got multiple situations. Second round. How you doing? Doing good. Glad to see you. Not Joe. No, Torrey with Atlanta. You know what he did with the Yankees, and then he did okay with the Dodgers. Cito didn't get that kind of. See, okay. Joe Torre like Bruce Bochy, like Sparky Anderson, Whitey Herzog. There's some managers they coach multiple places. I saw the body of work. Dusty Baker, body of work. They soft. And see, they don't have a pet. They are athletic, but they missing that road dog. Donovan Mitchell ain't it. There's a reason why the Pacers clean their clocks. And I'm not really thinking that they're quite like that. Yeah, they can prove me wrong. Ball ain't gonna be the savior. Come on now. How long he been around? No. Why would they? First of all, they don't trust too many people, but it all depends on what kind of associations they got. But if they got people they've been down with, their chances are they keep them in their clique and they fold. Because there's always somebody who knew you when you win. That's all I'm trying to say, Ted. Is like when it comes to certain managers, depends on what managers you asking me about. Depends on the coaches. It depends on what kind of vibe you got. That's all. Okay, let's see. I'm starting. Oh, I'm gonna have to go with Oro is gonna be my starter. Verlander my bench and Smokes gets cut because he ended up being a relief pitcher at the end. I think Oro was in they were moving because it was done for jerseys and sales. And Luca it brings a trenchant that Anthony Davis never will. It's not just an age thing; it's about selling jerseys. Listen, LeVar Bell is one of the greatest Don King impersonators I ever seen. He sold his own, and Lamelo is a pretty good player. He just plays in Spain. If you ain't got Wi-Fi, you don't never know about nobody. He ain't bad, but he but you know where he's at. They both got a pension. You got two players, two fat cats gonna have NBA pension. Does that mean they're any good? I think Lamelo is better than Lonzo. Lonzo is just stagnant. He can't. He don't shoot quick enough, and he's a better version of what Bronny James is. Can I say that? That's basically what he is. He can play at a pro level, but he's too injury prone, and he need to be the first Lonzo Ball. Forget the Magic Johnson, Jason Kidd comparisons. He got a nice assist game. He just doesn't have another level to him. That's why he keep playing in the dungeon. He better not mess up in Cleveland because his butt will be headed to Toronto or he'll be headed to Sacramento or he'll get traded to like I don't know. Because he was trying to make the bag. That's why. And only in America can you hype yourself up and sell some overrated shoes and blow up. Well, Donovan Mitchell was called up by Shaq years ago and said you're not a superstar. He's not. He puts up nice numbers, but the pressure, he's not that dude. He's not that dude. No one looks at Cleveland and go, "Oh, I'm scared of them." They rub their hands and their toes together and think we can take them in six. I'm gonna have to shock you and say I'm going in that order. Cause Reggie ain't even on the Reggie gonna start for me and Schmidt would be my bench. Clutch, impact, depth, magnitude. Now I'll say this: if A Rod had really put it down, he could have really been better than both of them guys. Those guys did the thing. So now, yeah, and Rudy Gobert actually shows a little bit more limp than Donovan does. Donovan gets numbers, but it don't translate to where you're like, oh, like if he played like Halliburton did, he'd been in the finals. If he played like Jalen Brunson, he'd be in the finals. Those guys don't have his reach as far as scoring like he can. But he just too stagnant, too cool, and it don't really go to another gear. That's why I'm not betting much on him. Whereas even Rudy Gobert had a moment where the Lakers had to go get a center. and he sucks. I don't do trolls, so yeah. Okay, let's see. Nomar starts to hot off the bench, and Reeves comes gets cut. They keeping him because they traded half the team for him, and they got a big decision to make. They're in that argument for most overrated. But the point is that he actually showed more than what Donovan Mitchell has out the last two. I'm gonna start Tiny, bench Iverson, cut Chris Paul. Because Tiny Archibald to lead the league in points and assists, you ain't never gonna see that. And he's more effective. If Iverson played like him, it'd be scary. No, no asterisks. You play with what you dealt with. Mm-mm. Tejada could hit though. He could hit. And if it wasn't for old cheap Billy Ball and all that other foolishness, who knows? Tejada could hit. We just got to disagree on that. No, Hilton and Walker could flat out hit. That's not the first kiddie ballpark I ever seen. But anyway, yeah. What's happening? How you doing? How you doing? It's a pretty good day. Got a lot more people coming through, and the poles are booming up, and the lights. So keep hitting it up. So it's all good. It's all good. Okay. I don't know what that mean in English. Um, that ain't hard. Starting Steph Curry, bench Isaiah Thomas, cut John Stockton. That ain't tough. That ain't hard at all. Rivera, Goose Gossage, Bruce Suter, and Lee Smith. Yeah, that's somebody I'm probably forgetting, but they come up to mind. See, I told you when I'm thinking about start bench cut. First of all, Isaiah Thomas ain't gonna get cut, and Steph Curry ain't gonna get cut. Dennis Eckersley, yeah, okay, I Eckersley over Lee Smith. Okay, Eckersley, Eckersley over Lee Smith, and I could have said Riley Fingers too. So Rivera, Eckersley, Riley Fingers, and Bruce Suter. Well, he probably thinks he's trash. Jay Z is not the warmest cat, but he probably was cut. He cut it to him raw, but I don't think he did so much for those cats' careers that they blew up either. So no, he just cut it to him. Jay Z is like that. Yeah, it's my same list time, my same place. What I said. I'm gonna start. Stockton's gonna be the odd man out. Neither one of them get invited. And if anybody invites both them turkeys to the cookout, I'm gonna check they pulse. They not coming back. Neither one. Neither one. Equal. I'm an equal opportunist. Because if I had to tolerate anybody, I think I could tolerate Swift more than I could him. But that's not saying a lot. I would. Oh God, this sucks. This is the worst one. When you pick Whack. Okay, Ashante in that order, but that's a horrible three. The only thing I'll give Ashante, she got a little bit of a pen game and hook game. Maya was a cute act, and Sierra could dance. That's it. He sucks. Yeah, I did a video about Angel. I talked about her. So she starts scoring, she gonna be good to go. And then what the haters gonna say? They won't, cause she ain't with the way they like. She too sassy for them. Both of them trashes. I would. McGregor's a nut, so he probably have to go though, cause he does stupid stuff. They won't leave her alone because again, McGregor be punching chairs and punching cars and stuff, and be racist and loaded. But they neck and neck though. But I think McGregor gotta go first. Well, if people care, but you gotta remember WNBA is being sold in a way ain't got nothing to do with basketball. Just so you know. Well, like I said before, it's all about opportunity though. So we'll see. Mm-hmm. We shall see. I think Angel can keep it up, but she gotta be cool. Paige gonna get start. You gotta bench Caitlyn and Sabrina gotta get cut. Oh man, Ted, your questions be like, I don't want neither one of them turkeys around. Rappaport would have to go quickly though before Mayo, but they neck and neck. But Rappaport gotta go first because he plays like he down. At least with Mel Gibson, I know what he's gonna say though. If I'm trying to sell tickets though, champion, but I think Paige is gonna have a better future though. I just think that Rappaport would have to go. I would probably cut Caitlyn, and Caitlyn would get cut, but I'd have to have Paige starting, and then Sabrina come with the bench, and Caitlyn gets cut. Appreciate you. That's why I like Paige. Paige ain't fake. I like her. Yeah, because their names are Mahomes, Allen, Lamar, Jalen Hurts, Burrow. That's five. Okay, so let me think. Who else would be now? Who else would be? That's five. Paige is a real one. I got five right there. So I got five right there. Hmm. Yeah, I'd say five or better. Number six. Uh, it's gonna be interesting out of Jordan Love and uh, 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 in Detroit too. So those are two. Well, I mentioned five already. So whatchamacallit with the Lions. Yeah. So if he depends on what Jared Goff does. So that's the tricky one. That's six. Because if Jared Goff goes off, yeah, Jared Goff is a top 10 quarterback. And the Lions, asked Ted, should have been in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. All that cutesy, all that cutesy flimsy stuff they do. I hope that turkey ain't wasting an opportunity. Yeah, that's six right there. You asked me to name six, I named six. Because Jared Goff, if they played a lick of defense, he been balling. That's it though. So I said Mahomes, Josh, Lamar, Jalen Hurts, Burrow, Golf. That's six. That's it. Starting Larry Fitzgerald, benching Isaac Bruce, cutting Ocho Cinco. That's too easy. Fitz was a bad dude, and Isaac Bruce was underappreciated. Ocho didn't quite live up to his hype. He was good, but if you like a double broke TO, that's what you got. Oh yeah, but you see, golf. That ain't the Lions don't play no defense, and he has proven that he's gotten to a Super Bowl. He has a track record. It's just his coach does some meathead stuff. We're gonna see what happens. Where's Ted at to talk about that meathead Dan Campbell? Because they getting into meathead territory. He's starting to get some of that Fisher Price. Like he gonna sit there for 20 years with the Lions and keep finding ways to choke in the second round. No, Ocho ain't gonna start for me. He ain't better than no Larry Fitzgerald or Isaac Bruce. Not even close. Larry was a beast, y'all. That's why I said meathead. He's headed to that meathead McCarthy Fisher. Listen, you should have been in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. Keep on playing stupid games. Keep on doing a stupid offside case against the Buffalo Bills, trying to play sandlot football. Keep on doing stupid stuff. All that hokey pokey against the Cowboys, flipping the ball around, all that sandlot script ball. Don't play no defense. And they should have been to somebody's Super Bowl. Mm. Choking away there. See, I that's when you're a football fan. When you take your team to the side and you look around the league and you're like, okay, how am I looking at this other team? That's a blown. This turkey blowing it. Should have beat Frisco 2 years ago trying to be cute and then fool around with Washington. Just always fooling around lately. That's why you ain't got to worry about them Lions. They'll find a way to choke up. I got no problem with Larry Fitzgerald and Isaac. I don't like nasty trolls, so you got to go. And I don't even tolerate this mess. So that's gone. I am going to start Ty Law. I am going to bench Reeves and I'm gonna cut Champ Bailey. Because Ty Law is the most underappreciated of the three. Reeves Island was real. Champ was tight. Only if you think that he didn't get enough of jury. But baseball is a tough sport. He did have a great lineup, but he wasn't that memorable in Toronto as a manager. He got kind of fortunate with Atlanta. Baseball is a tricky situation, but yeah, well, yeah, because Reeves Island was real. Yeah, and then it's one of those kind of situations where they want to ring with a similar manager they got now. So considering, yeah, that's all. Well, it's a big deal, but when you consider the kind of talent they were stacked with, yeah, he kind of underachieved as a manager. Yeah, then they barely only beat Cleveland because Dave Justice hit that home run, and that was a turning point. Because Ted liked Cleveland back then, and Justice came over, and that was it. And yeah, for all they had with Ron Gant, that pitching, Kerry looking like Leonardo DiCaprio would. I remember that 20 strikeouts back in '98 like it was yesterday. That was a bad dude for a minute. Double broke Clemens. So, oh, Satchel gonna start. Clemens second. Pedro gotta go. Because Clemens' longevity gotta play to tuition. I remember that game too because it was a typical game in Wrigley Field. All windy and he was going off. Well, Satchel Paige was like pushing 70 when he was pitching, so I know that man could have pitched in any era. Clemens changed his game, so oh yeah, Bart man. Well, you did get that ring, and you got Theo Epstein, so you did get your ring. Yeah, the David Wells '98. He was drunk too. The Phillies are legit. No, Satchel Paige is too. It's too iconic, and I pay respects to my elders, so I got to have it because he was everything that Pedro was, and except he. Not so much a recipe, but I do eat it with different sauces, though. So, interesting question to come out the blue. That's the sad part, Ted. That is the truth. I'm gonna tell you a story, Ted. Since you went there, I used to collect baseball cards, and oh, I used to get so excited if I got a baseball card with a guy that pitched a perfect game, and kind of find out you take those to the card shops, cats wouldn't even give you a quarter. Just look at you like you cross-eyed and just cross you out. So I know exactly what you mean. And now it's not video worthy, but it's sad worthy though. I'm starting Andre Dodson. I'm benching Big Poppy and I'm cutting Ryan Howard. That's too easy. Dawson was the Hawk for a reason. He was the truth. Well, Dan Larson was considered a scrub too. If you think about it, he pitched that first game for the Yankees back in '57. He had his, and he wasn't that memorable as a pitcher. Yeah, it's something that's great for you, but usually you're right though. Most of them aren't memorable. Played with the Montreal Expos, but that guy could fight out when he won MVP with the Cubs. Even his Jerry curl looked mean. His curl looked like a hawk. His eyes and that cat, but that cat was bad though. Well, I wouldn't see. I'm a Yankee fan. Time so you up there talking about he won you a lot of money. I ain't trying to hear that though, because they're pitching. It's like it's part of the whole analytics. It's all analytics. They're not going by. Why do you think Rory Chapman still got a job? He's still here pitching at 180 miles per hour, and he's streaky as all. I may have, and you know what? If we're going by technical skill set, he would be. If I just go technical skill set, the most athletic receiver I've seen, I can make a strong case for him. Unfortunately, I don't do that. I don't want to laugh at him because he's battling cancer and he came back, and I do hold him as my second greatest receiver ever. And no one had better footwork than him that I saw. I do too, but it's just a different game now. Oh shucks, he leaves Megatron in the dust. What you talking about? Megatron couldn't do the stuff Moss could do. Moss took over games. Shoot, no. Megatron was bad, but Randy Moss was another level. That's why I said mere mortals. Moss and T.O. are my top after after Jerry Rice. That's my top three. Well, Rice was just dumb. It was just a beast. He feasted. I like the ERA better because I can understand. Shoot, Moss in New England, I won over Megatron. Shoot, did you see what he did for Brady? Shoot, that was the time when people took Brady when we started like, okay, he's an incredible quarterback. Because up to that point, he was tough. Shoot, Moss made him look like yeah, he gave him a Peyton Manning makeover. Yeah. Please continue to hit that like up. I see that we got more people coming through, so feel free. See what we got real quick. 64% for yes, right on. I'm not even in no discussion about him and Megatron. That's not up for discussion with me. I already said for me, he's in there with Rice and T.O. Megatron is not in there. Oh, there's a lot. Probably back when Dave Parker that ball from right field was one of my favorites. That's way back in '79. Uh, oh, Torrey Hunter, Robin Barry Bonds. You know Bonds is my dog. That was a sick catch. That was sick. Um, for me, Fitzgerald, because Arizona sucked too, like Detroit did, but he made himself into. He really willed himself, and he kept getting better too. That's the scary part about him. He kept getting better. I'm gonna say this about Calvin Johnson, Megatron. He kind of reminds me of a wide receiver version of Derrick Henry. It's explosive, it's powerful, it's dynamic, and then when it doesn't hit, it really kind of just slows and fades out. That's how I look at him. I look at him like a receiver version of Derrick Henry. And they bad and they can go hard and all that, but if they don't have that, they tend to have that game where they didn't ate too much or they just don't have, and then it's kind of like, whereas Larry Fitzgerald never stopped going. He got better. In fact, I was hoping he'd go to New England, go somewhere. Oh Lord, you gotta be kidding! I'm gonna start Plexico. I'm gonna go in that order. In that order. Because Plexico was a better receiver. He downplayed his significance. Wes Walker was a what I call a junk receiver who made himself better, just dropped that ball. So that's all I'm saying. Okay, let me start. So Dez Bryant was overrated. He did catch that ball, but I'm gonna start Pete Rose, bench George Brett. I gotta cut Tony Gwynn. Sorry, secret rendezvous because Babyface had that groove that was sick. My top five or so. Top five or so. No, right stuff was catchy, but it was kind of clangy. But Secret Rendezvous with Karen White and Babyface was see. I'll give you that. Oh, I love Tony Gwynn, but you put him up in between. Look at what you put him up against. Look what you did. You got him between uh, Pete Rose and George Brett. And Brett and Gwynn would almost cancel each other out. Brett almost was flirting with 400. And he had for power and he had a glove and all that. And then Pete Rose. I ain't cutting Pete Rose, so no, sorry. That was the closest he did. LeBron has just got empty calories. That's all. Let me give you all of that. Oh, I already said that. I've been said that. He was better than Shannon. I was around to see that. He was, and he had more personality too. And the jury, he would wear his jury. He was bad. He was bad. He was right there with Rice and I'm starting Bonds. I'm gonna have to put Albert and Schmidt gets cut. Yeah. No, I used to live in Texas though, a long time ago. Oh yeah. As great as Shannon was, Sterling was a whole nother notch above. His routes were sick. He was physical. He could do it all. And if you didn't get to see him play, I'm just here to tell you it was the truth. Oh, that's a good one here, Calvin. I love Time to Reveal. I think it was the better written song, but I got to give it to two occasions. Carter to to start. If everybody's healthy, Carter to start. Sterling Irvin's cut. If everybody's healthy. No, Rice changed the game, yo. They never had a thing called rack until Jerry Rice would take the little 5, 6 yard route and then burn. Because he did it to Deion Sanders, he burned. Now, he enhanced Joe Montana. Now, he had an uncanny ability to take it to the house. What surprised you? There are people who think Jerry Rice is the greatest player ever. And that's playing with two Hall of Fame quarterbacks. And Joe Montana is one of the three greatest quarterbacks ever. But Rice was such an elite talent. No, he enhanced it because it was called the rack. He'd take a 5 yard hitch and turn that thing 60 yards and go. And he wasn't the fastest cat, but he had quickness. In my era, Johnny Bench, Pudge, Roy Campanella, I gotta think of who number 4 is. He did. Nah, Fisk ain't there. He good, but he ain't there. He was popular. Shoot, I might say Gary Carter or Piazza, who I hate to say. That's the one y'all want me to say. oh, oh, pizza. Molina was bad. What guy from the Cardinals? Vanilla. No, 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 no. We don't do ice. But no, what I was going to say is that Jerry Rice's talent was another level. And yeah, but that's not the dish Shannon Sharp because the people don't understand. But it's just that he had a skill set that was sick. It was sick. But he could hit though. Pizone could hit. Now he wants to be like Guido and be mad. Do you love what you feel? It's not even up for discussion. That's not even close. I don't know what absolute unit is talking about. So anyway, please hit the like up. Yeah, and it was different because they had Antonio Freeman and Keith Jackson, and they had a good squad. Well, I'm gonna have to respectfully disagree. There is nothing that Randy Moss could do that Jerry Rice couldn't do better. That's what I'm saying. Because Randy Moss may have been more athletic, but he couldn't change the game like Jerry Rice could. Mm-mm. And again, talent and skill set as opposed to getting the job done is two different entities. Of course, he made money off of it. His glasses fogged up and he lied through his teeth. And he was a lawyer too. Remember I tell you about lawyers and commissioners and running things? Rice changed the course of the game with his lateral movement. Randy Moss didn't do that. Moss was bad, but Moss couldn't take the team to another level. When Rice expounded his horizons, the 49ers went to another level of scoring. They weren't a juggernaut where they were like that. He took them to another level. Moss was bad. Don't get it twisted. But he wasn't like that. He wasn't like that. Pop life. That's not a fair discussion. That's not the best Rick James song. That's too easy. Pop life gonna win that. And I do like you bring the freak out. And usually I would take Rick, but you gotta go pop life on that one. You could have made that a lot more closer than that. You picked the wrong song off for that Rick James album. But I understand what you did though. Don't forget Fred Taylor was on that team too. Fred Taylor never played with Jerry Rice though. He was with Jacksonville. And I like Fred Taylor a lot because there was a Fred Taylor video that came up through my scoop recently. No, Dante Culpepper wasn't bad. And he had Randall Cunningham for the MVP year, so I don't know what you mean. Randall was throwing him passes. They just that Poochie missed that field goal. They never give it to a receiver in the NFL for that. He played great. I was more impressed with Randy Moss's toe technique. He knew how to get his feet like a ballet dancer. It's almost like he'd been studying ballet. His footwork was impeccable. But his attitude is why he's not better than Jerry Rice. See, y'all want to keep going on? I'm gonna have to break the news to you. That's what separates Jerry Rice from him, and T.O. for that matter. Oh, you really want to do this, huh? Well, I see, and this is why I don't like hate this stuff. I got to start Larusa. That man won wherever he won. I couldn't stand him. And then Dusty second and Francona gotta go because Dusty could win wherever he went with a lot of talent or no talent. So, but I have to put Larusa number one. I said receivers never get. I didn't say anything about running backs. They don't give receivers MVP. They'll give a defensive player. They'll give running back, quarterback. They never give wideouts. T was a difference maker. They had to. Because if they don't have him, Elway don't go off in the sunset with no jewelry. I think you know that. Shoot, that dude was huge for them. Are you kidding me? That dude was huge. TD was like scary. Used to call him touchdown TD. But if he don't have get hurt or nothing, there's no telling. Yeah, but they never give receivers MVP though. That's some stigma the NFL's about. They never do. I'm gonna tell you. Um, I'll say that for my personal video, but I will use that for a future question though in the future. And you're making me have to think real hard because the Patriots won that Super Bowl against the Rams, right? So let's go back on that. Yeah, I saw that last night. I love Inside the Park home runs. They are something else. The '96 Packers, which beat the Patriots. Um, yeah, Desmond Howard pop locking the end zone. I think that if I was honest, if Reggie White came up big, but it wasn't anything that they did on offense though. Yeah, Boogie Nights. Boogie Nights gonna win. Boogie Nights for the dub. It's close though, cause Get Down Tonight was pretty funky for them. LeBron did play with Hall of Famers, and he played with self-pat teams. What you talking about? Dwayne Wade is one of the 25 greatest players ever in NBA history. What are you talking about? He went there and teamed up with him. Chris Bosh was a great player. Ray Allen was a great player. Kyrie should be one of the 75 greatest players. Anthony Davis considered one of the 75 greatest players. Dwight Howard should be considered one of the 75 greatest players. He played with Shaquille O'Neal. Second round got knocked out 2009. What are we doing here? Football is a different sport. I think the Patriots probably beat that '96 Packers team. If I'm honest. Oh, you must have been watching my videos. I have to think about that. Those are strictly yeah. Those I have to put on a special video, and I have to word it in a way. I have to think about all that. He had Shaq the year, and remember he won 62 games, went to the finals. And you can't compare football and basketball; it's two different sports. I'm not even going to talk about Miami. You can't compare football and basketball; it's two different sports. Talent level on football ain't the same as it is on basketball. He was. Steve Winwood. They still won 60 plus games. Washed or not, he still was called up by his owner for choking against Boston. I could handle myself. Not in Cleveland, he wasn't 22 double, but uh, he was on the downside of his career in Cleveland. They got him too late. But the problem was is LeBron just wasn't. LeBron said he went to Miami to learn how to win. I don't know what else to say. Kevin Love borderline, Kyrie should be. But the point of the matter is he always had him a stacked squad when he left Miami. And we gotta look at the totality of his career. So we don't get to use and say he didn't. But when he went back to Cleveland, he definitely snagged him some Hall of Famers, potentially with Kyrie and them. Well, talk about your mama, because I'm not gonna be dealing with no trolls, so you got to go. Yeah, that was his last hurrah, but I'm not really trying to be bringing up about Shaq playing Williams with Cleveland because Tom is trying to start unnecessary. I don't really understand the logic in this. Football and basketball, and somebody please tell the cat, in all due respect, you can't compare stacking a team in football with stacking a team in basketball. It's just not the same. Football and basketball is apples and oranges. They're not the same at all. Football is on the line and it's about the talent, so much factors. Basketball, you can win with what you got. There's not a fair comparison. We play basketball and we have the top tier guys there. We're gonna probably run through you. Football, there's always injuries. He did good. He wasn't where he was, but he did good. He did have a game. I think it was game 5 where he looked really good. The last game they played in Miami was as close to his old self. But he hit two good free throws in game 3, which changed the landscape. Most cats that you see past their pull date playing in a uniform that's not original is pretty sad. It's kind of like Jordan when he was with Washington. I gotta get stuck between the LeBron Thon love affairs. Cracks me up. He got a chance if they combine his college career. He's got a slim chance. Mhm. But you see, you're on the wrong page if you think I'm gonna give LeBron James a pass. Basketball, you can team up and go. Everybody knows that. Green Day because it was a catchier song, but I like Soundgarden better. Even though Billy Joel could write catchy songs though, because Green Day was catchy. I just wasn't the biggest Green Day fan, but they were catchy though. In a strange, twisted way, that style definitely worked commercialized. Yeah, I think they got a chance to. Well, yeah, it was sad. When you see anybody that's great, you don't want to see them at the end of the. I seen some guys struggling, and you don't want to see nobody out looking like that. It's like when I saw Jerry Rice playing in Seattle and he practice squad. That was sad. You just don't want to see that. OKC got a chance. He don't edge him in nothing. He's nowhere near Michael Jordan. See, again, media got your heads believing these lies. He's nowhere near him. LeBron could play in different eras. I'll give you that. He was talented, but he ain't no Michael Jordan. Yeah, he tried out for the Seahawks, and of course, he was wearing Steve Largent's number. It's some sad footage on YouTube. I try not to look at it. I was in the area around that time. It was sad. He looked good with the Raiders, okay? He was good with the Raiders. He had that runner up Super Bowl appearance where they got smashed by Tampa Bay. Him and Rich Gannon, he looked good. But trying to play with Denver and Seattle, we don't want to even remember that. Elgin Baylor, because more and more time goes by him. Scar tissue by the Chili Peppers. Elgin Baylor. Because that guy, when you look at what he did in the era, and his records are still, and he was something else. No, it wasn't because it was when he was with Seattle and Denver. When he was with the Raiders, he was still legit. He was legit. He was still legit. As Raider, I don't think you saw that Super. He was great that year. That's when Rich Gannon got that MVP, which is still hilarious to me. That's still hilarious because Rich Gannon, they need to be drug tested. Because I ain't played that. I don't think his last season was sad. I just think that it was time to go. He was throwing ground balls. I don't think it was sad. I'm gonna say this. I didn't see him look like he didn't belong. He just like he got old. He like he was. It was the timing was there. I don't think he ever looked like he looked sad. Russell Wilson looked sad. Aaron Rodgers looked sad. Brady never looked like them two turkeys. Even his last year, they were still playoff bound team. He just couldn't get that keep that snap on that ball. I have no idea. People come on here trolling. I have to keep the stuff where we're consistent. Yeah, and he hit a great pass too, because Stafford could throw that. Jerry Rice still had a good statistical year. He wasn't like down on his luck. He wasn't like a. It wasn't like he was a third option. He was second. I don't have T.O. next to him in my all-time list though. T.O.'s top three. Dropped too many passes though, and didn't have the right mindset. And I like T.O. a whole lot too, but he was his own worst enemy. I got him and Moss behind Jerry Rice, and that's a heck of a compliment coming from me because I think they better good enough to be in the second or third slot, but they're nowhere near the top slot. He did. There was a turnover. They had one bad turnover. They played. I think that that does good for McKay, Sean McKay, because he's got a team that's more talented. They got talent there, and he does get good receivers. He's doing what Kyle Shanahan can't do. To tell you, Sean McVay gets a lot done. The Rams were kind of like looking kind of busted, and here they are right there. I remember that's the only game that Philadelphia had to worry about. They tore everybody else's behind up. That's a good question. Second time around, the chorus is still catchy, and I love Rocksteady. I probably listen to Rocksteady more, but second time around is gonna get the W. You're not gonna beat those Leon and Silver productions back there. But that's a good battle though. You gotta be kidding. That's come on now. You gotta do better than that. We're gonna start Jim Kelly. We're gonna bench Josh Allen. We're gonna cut Joe Ferguson. Stop. Because until Josh Allen gets to a Super Bowl, he's not gonna get over Jim Kelly to me. Romo was a frat boy, and if he had Dak Prescott's mindset, he could have been one of the five greatest Cowboys ever. If he was poised, he's just too wild. He was good in Frisco, but he was just out of control. Good in Philly. When he got to Dallas, Cincinnati, that was just the that's it. That's his Jordan Wizard era there. That wasn't about nothing. That was just on his name only. Frisco and Philly had the best of him. Well, if he don't get it done this year, it's gonna because I ain't remember ways you're gonna keep losing to Kansas City. I'm gonna tell you, sooner or later, people gonna get tired of that act, and Sean McDermott gonna have to, you know, they tried the Peyton Manning route with not passing the ball too much to keep the turnovers down this year, and they still lost. So I don't know, gotta do something. Appreciate we got to 10 likes. Thank you, appreciate you. And with the poll is great. This is a great day. I feel like Ice Cube today. This is a good day. He might be. I'm not gonna argue that one time the jury's out, but he lost four different ways to Mahomes, so I don't know. Let's see. We talking about Texas, 59%. Okay, okay. The problem was he was on a no-win situation. He was stat pad, and let me say something to you. But you getting excited about Bill Parcells hated it. It was a Jerry Jones decision, and Parcells had to suck it up. They were. That's why they're the second and third best all time for me. That's why they're second and third. Productivity is incredible, and they're very talented. Burrow better hurry up and get back because Burrow is starting to get long in the tooth. And, it's been like 3, 4 years since he was in that Super Bowl. So if you don't do something soon, he got to get off the Luka Doncic cheeseburgers and beer and play full season and not be a cat, not decide to wake up in 8, 9, 8 week 8, 9. Why you Cowboy fans like to regurgitate the so tired stuff? If I was a Cowboy fan, I wouldn't say Jack. It's been 30 years since you've been to a Super Bowl, and no one is taking your team seriously. And you had some talent, and you had a lot of blown opportunities. You got back-to-back quarterbacks who won two playoff games each, and their two playoff wins combined ain't Patrick Mahomes Super Bowl trips. Bad Mama Jamma. I love Michael Henderson too, but Carlton got him beat. And James Ingram did the keyboards on that cut too. That's him playing all on that song. Yeah, Cowboy fans. Well, when Brady did get Moss, you saw what happened. And if Aaron Hernandez doesn't just flush it all down the drain, you saw what happened. They'll be entertaining. I'll give you that. Ain't nobody thinking about no Cowboys. Don't let that get hurt or y'all season's over with. People have them fired up. They'll play good enough. I mean, they could win a 7, 8 games. But Gino's gonna give you Gino before long, and he's at the back end of his career. So the fact they got something out that turkey in Seattle is amazing. But let's not get ridiculous. I do like that tight end the Raiders got though. No. I liked them for the time period. It was great back then. Pat Summer used to be drunk all the time. He'd be hitting that fifth. John Madden was entertaining, and he gave you some. I like his. I like the persona of him, but sometimes that gimmick got a little tiring. I don't know about week 12, probably about week 6. Well, it was a different era. I mean, I can't bring that kind of era back. It represented a different era. But we don't look at football like that anymore. Yeah, they said that last year, how that turned out. Only if they get some, everybody's offense is on point. Nobody care about the Patriots. Because they ain't, Mama used to say, I could take or leave that one by Marvin Gaye. Uh, why not? I mean, there's two. First of all, you ain't expecting to be harassed and messed with, and second of all, if you're comfortable, why not? Uh, I'm keeping Vince Scully first and foremost. Gonna bench Harry Carey and I'm gonna cut John Madden. Vince Scully was a pro. That man debonair with it. Harry Carey was entertaining. Madden just got loud. He better because that's the only thing that Sean Payton's got riding. Broncos are kind of an interesting team though, because are they that good or are they kind of like, you know? But could he be on a Jaden Daniels or could he be like a CJ Stroud? Well, what direction would he go? I don't know. I think I'll do another half hour. We're doing good today. I think I'll definitely do another hour. Yeah, ain't that funny? When Mike Shanahan was there, they had running backs galore, and now they don't. BG's in the blowout. I love Casey and Sunshine Band, but that's not touching more than a woman. Casey got away with singing that one note too. But more than a woman still hits though. Oh God! After Doug Flutie, you can have both those turkeys. That's sad. In that order, because at least with Fitzpatrick, he ended up playing for 15 different teams. He was okay. Rodney Pete was overrated. The best pass he ever got was Holly Robinson Pete. Never really felt him as a pro and an NFL. Flutie, I love Flutie. Flutie was cool because Flutie came back, reinvented himself. Kate Bush in a blowout. Come on now. You know me better than that. It ain't even close. Kate Bush is the truth. Mm-mm, mm-mm. She flat and boring. Kate Bush all day. I think Alicia Keys is one of the most overrated artists I've ever heard. So yeah, I don't want the truth. Don't ask me. No. Bee Gees, and then I say Casey, then I say Irish White Band. Bee Gees wrote great songs. They're great. Casey and Sunshine Band was underappreciated. It's had a sound and a groove. And I like the Average White Band a whole lot. They're one of my favorite bands. But KC was able to write. So I have to give the pen game. But the Bee Gees is number one. So Bee Gees, KC, and then AWB for me. Alicia Keys is overrated to me. You really want to go there with this one? Are you for real? For Eddie Van Halen, and if we're going by solos, Eddie's easily than Slash than Mayer. Mayer's more of a songwriter. Mayer was more like a broke James Taylor meets a broke Stevie Ray Vaughan. Had a chance to incorporate both the worlds, and I did like Mayer at first till he started songjacking, but Eddie in the blowout, then Slash, and then Mayer. Even though Mayer is the better artist of the three, solo. Because Eddie could play, but Eddie didn't have nothing going on as an artist. But Eddie, guitar, Slash, and then Mayer. I like Mayer more as a songwriter who plays guitar. And he did have an interesting hybrid if he had to put the James Taylor meets Stevie Ray Vaughan aspects to his game, but it didn't go that way. And when I think about John Mayer, that's like 20 years ago. So I don't even really sweat him. He had a moment though. But Eddie for the dub, that's not even close. Eddie for the dub. I like Slashes playing on others, but I ain't really feeling him too much by himself. All right. Everything's been great today. Very lively. Appreciate everybody coming through today. This is great. And I'm definitely gonna come back tomorrow. So 59% saying yes about Texas. So much time we're working with. It's called business. I don't know the whole dynamics. I'm really not that invested in it, but he's done people pretty shady. I got a video out about Nicki Minaj. That's what we should be talking about. She's saying they owes us some money. Should be talking about Kanye West because he took his money to get his publishing. Memphis Bleak ain't even on the blip. But you want to talk about a story? Watch my video about Jay Z and Nicki Minaj. She's saying that she's owed the bag. So Jay Z apparently he had a deal with Title, and she's got a lawsuit. I got a video out. If you watch my video, I talked about it. She's suing him. She said he owes her $200 million. You ain't heard the news. You got to jump on it. I got my video out. It's all over. Nicki accused Jay Z of being a Trump supporter. She went at him like Kanye. He getting clapped right now. It's all over. It's all on the last night. Oh yeah, she came and dissed him hardcore. So he's got people coming after him left and right. So believe me, the Memphis Bleak thing is the least on his agenda. Kanye went in on his family and talked trash. Nicki talking trash, and his alcohol business ain't doing so good. That was reported too. So that's why he put on his Whoopi Goldberg wig and he back on stage and he gonna come out with some whack album because he gotta make the bag and he's gonna be the halftime show. I'm telling you, the Carters are running for cover, but you ain't hear it all from me. But that's the story on the streets. We got a pretty good amount right here, so we're gonna see. I'm see if people keep on coming through. If the league don't lead to the season, I can't say. It's hard to say because they would have had to get rid of Gasol and Lamar, and I can't say they would have won. CP3 don't do nothing in the postseason, so I can't say emotion because the Bee Gees could write anything. Emotion was the cut, but I did like Leave Me On though. But the Bee Gees wrote anything back then; it was on fire. So pen game is underappreciated. Can't say because Kobe was a step older then. I don't know if CP3 could have played with Mike D'Antoni's system. I know they were going to play with Mike Brown's system. Now, I don't feel sorry for him because he choked. He choked with the Clippers. He choked with Houston. He choked with Phoenix. He gets no love from me. Just known as a choker. He had opportunities. So I thought he was. I liked him with the Hunt a long time ago. But every time I saw him in the postseason, he found a way to just gag. That's why Reggie Jackson got a deal because they beat him in the postseason. Because CP3 choked that ball away. It was like game 4 or 5, one of them. He just always. And the league has been guard dominated anyway. So he should be better than what he is. Don't ask my neighbors in a blowout. Fire is a cool song, but the emotions ran with it with that vocals. I could listen to that on a cool night anytime. No, because they probably felt they were getting too much. But I think because Kobe was old then too. They just beat Boston, and it was just started. And I just think that they were gonna have to make this crazy move. So I don't think it would have really helped the Lakers out. So gonna start the turn of the Mac. Bench I wish and cut everybody gonna make you sweat. Eddie Murphy. And I think Denzel's a better actor and he's more important, but Eddie Murphy. Come on. I'm gonna tell you why. Because he changed the culture. He coming after Pryor. but he became a standard. Denzel doesn't have anybody that's a standard after him. So, it's a great question you ask, and I'm going to use that for a future. I'm gonna use it for a future video, but it's Eddie because they didn't gave it to Martin Lawrence, and they gave it to Chris Tucker, and they gave it to Kevin Hart, and they don't quite hit like that. And Eddie still gets a buzz out of people. Denzel, of course, is the better actor and all that, but when we talking about the impact where you can actually see it, Eddie hit in a way that people weren't ready for what he was able to do. Believe me. Never knew love like this before by a pinch, but it's pretty close though, cause I love the way Nelly Cole sung that song. And she kept getting Aretha Franklin's leftovers for 5 more years. History would have had her higher, but never knew love like this just kind of hit the soul a little bit more. Okay, doing quite great today. Got the 17 responses, got the double figures and the likes. Appreciate it. You said acting, acting. Kareem in a blowout. He's the only one that's a good actor out of them three. And I guess Bird by second and LeBron gets cut, but acting is Kareem. Cause Kareem on the court, if he ain't like what you say, he cold knock you out too. I remember that. His face and his features would be something animated. And then Larry Bird would give you that look. Cause Larry Bird gave Kevin McHale that look when Kevin McHale clotheslined Kurt Rambis. I think everybody pretty much kind of checked out, but I appreciate when they came through. We definitely did the thing. I'm coming back tomorrow. I'll be back. Should be on tomorrow. Trying to think there was something that was coming up tomorrow. It should be on tomorrow. I'll be doing more this week because next week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, I won't be on. So no. So you get more of me this week than next week because this week I'll be doing more shows. I want my girl, but that's not even a good. That's not a good debate. That's not even fair. Cause don't wait for me. I didn't like his voice. It was on too long. Sad mentality. So there we go. So I will be back. I'm gonna put this thing in real quick. actually works. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna get ready to go after this is the last one. So it's going to be Roethlisberger, Steve Young, and Fouts. Inside and out for the W. Inside out for the W. Anyway, no, I'm getting ready to go. My thing didn't kind of go off. I got my timing, so I'm gonna be on tomorrow. Appreciate everyone that came through. Catch me tomorrow. Have to sign out. Got to go. My stuff done froze. It's time. Be on tomorrow though. And I already said the BGs. I will talk about that tomorrow, Charlene. Say that one for tomorrow. All right, I'm out.